it's okay.
Steve, though? What was he saying to the referee?
Oh, when I said to Steve?
No, what was he saying? He was
talking to the ref the whole time too. Yeah.
Oh, so all right. So one time, when I hit him on the break, he was like, "Get out of there." He said, "Stop holding." As soon as he said, "Stop holding," I punched him.
Opinion, if it was a draw, they need to count he take a knee. You need to lose like 10-8 that round at least, no? And plus the corner go up and put it a towel in the face. That's disqualification.
What do you think that was going on in the corner? Was there too many voices in the corner?
No, it was a big misunderstanding.
Okay.
Tank was trying to explain what was going on with the half.
I always knew Lamont was, he wasn't coming to lay down. I've been knowing Lamont since we was kids, so we came up in amateurs together. So I knew Lamont was serious. He was coming in there to fight.
Lamont Roach Jr. drops bombshells on Gervonta Davis, revealing his shocking communication with the referee throughout the entire fight. On the other hand, Eddie Hearn has totally different thoughts, as he found it baffling that Davis taking a knee during the fight wasn't ruled a knockdown. While he acknowledged that Davis wasn't hurt, he pointed out that if a fighter takes a knee and touches the canvas while punches are being thrown, it should be counted as a knockdown.
You know what, honestly, I haven't watched the fight. We had a show that night. I haven't watched the full fight. One thing that's kind of baffling is that it wasn't a knockdown. I mean, look, he wasn't hurt. There's no doubt about that. But if you take a knee in the fight and you touch down, whilst punches are being thrown, it has to be a knockdown.
Hearn also addressed claims that Gervonta Davis should be disqualified for going back to his corner after taking a knee, stating he didn't buy that idea. He saw it as a warning rather than disqualification. Hearn further mentioned that many in boxing considered Lamont Roach a tough challenge, even if it wasn't the highest profile fight.
I've heard some people saying, oh, that he should be disqualified. He went back to the corner. I don't buy that, to be honest with you. I mean, I think that's a warning. But it's a bit of a bizarre situation. For me, like, there was a lot of people in boxing that were saying that this is a really tough fight. Like, Lamont Roach is a serious fighter. I said it might not be the biggest profile fight, but it's actually quite a tough fight. And Shakur said to me...
Moreover, Bozy Ennis said Lamont was fully prepared and in great shape. He took Gervonta Davis's punches well, and the fight was competitive. Ennis felt it was a close match, but he believed Lamont edged out the win.
Lamont was ready, man. He was ready. He was in shape. He took tank punches, you know what I mean, and they was going back and forth, you know what I mean, and I thought it was a real close fight, but I thought Lamont edged it.
Bozy Ennis also pointed out that he didn't expect Gervonta Davis to take a knee, run to the corner, and have his eyes wiped. He noted that in his experience, the referee would have started counting right away, but it stopped abruptly. Ennis then joked about Tank's power, saying that while Tank is known for his strength, this time his cash power really brought people to the seats.
No, now that's something I didn't expect him to do, you know what I mean? He took the knee, you know what I mean, and then ran to the corner and got his eyes wiped out. They never allowed that. They would have started counting. You know what I mean? I see that he started counting, then he stopped. You know what I mean? But you gotta understand, Tank got a lot of power. That show you right there, he got power.
Cash cow.
That's what I'm saying. He put asses in the seats, man.
Coach Rell said it was a close fight and that Lamont performed much better than many people thought he would. While many were giving Lamont the victory, he felt the fight was affected by the referee not calling the knockdown when Davis took a knee. Despite that, Coach Rell still considered it a great fight.
I think Lamont did so much better than people think he would do. Everybody giving him the victory. But with that ref not calling that knockdown, when he took a knee, that definitely took the fight from Lamont.
Coach Rell also said that he's excited to see the rematch and hopes Tank stays focused. He pointed out that Lamont is really putting in the work, training hard, and is coming to take over the fight.
I love to see him running back, and I hope Tank focus up, because you see Lamont not playing. Lamont really in the gym, Lamont really working on his craft, and Lamont coming and seeking the short.
However, Canelo Alvarez shed lights on the controversy, stating that in his opinion, the fight should have been a draw. He mentioned that when a fighter takes a knee, they should lose at least 1 point for that round. He also pointed out that if the corner throws a towel in the fighter's face, it's a disqualification. However, he added that it's not his business.
Opinion, if it was a draw, they need to come he take a knee. You need to lose like 10-8 that round at least, no? And plus the corner go up and put it a towel in the face. That's a disqualification for sure. But you know, it's not my business.
Moreover, Lamont Roach just had an interview where he revealed the conversation between Gervonta Davis and the referee. Roach talked about his interactions with the referee during the fight. He recalled a moment when he hit Gervonta Davis during a break, and the referee told him to stop holding. Roach questioned how the referee could tell him to stop holding, but allow Davis to punch him.
It's okay.
Steve, though. What was he saying to the referee?
When I said to Steve?
No, what was he saying? He was
he was talking to the ref the whole time too. Yeah.
So one time, when I hit him on the break, he was like, "Get out of there." He said, "Stop holding." As soon as he said stop holding, I punched him. So he's like, how you gonna tell me to stop holding and let him punch me or something like that?
Roach explained that the referee had told him he could fight out of the clinch as long as he wasn't holding and hitting. When the referee told him to get out of there, Roach did so without raising his hand, and that's when he punched Davis.
Steve said, fight out of the clinch. That's what we were gonna do. He came in the back and was like, I'm gonna let you fight out, especially if one arm is loose or whatever the case may be, as long as you're not holding and hitting. So when he did say, he said, get out of there, he got out of there without his hand up, and I punched him. So
Roach further said he was confused when Gervonta Davis took a knee during the fight. He thought it was a knockdown and expected a 10-8 round, but when the referee started counting and Davis got up to go to the corner, Roach didn't understand what was going on. He was left confused about why the situation was handled that way.
Don't lie, like I thought it was a 10-8. Like that's what really was going on. Like, but like I was confused when he looked at the ref, but when he took the knee, I was like, and I grasped the concept that he was on the ground. I was like, that's a 10-8. Simple. So I was like, all right, the ref started counting. While I'm looking at him, I'm like, the ref started counting. But I see him get up and go to the corner. So now I'm just like, all right, now I'm confused. I don't know what's going on.
On the other hand, another controversy regarding Tank's conversation with Calvin Ford during the fight was revolving around the internet until coach Kenny Ellis clarified that the video of Gervonta Davis talking to Calvin Ford during the fight was a misunderstanding. Tank was explaining something about his hair, and Calvin didn't fully understand. Ellis emphasized there was no disagreement, just some over-talking, and with the countdown, things felt rushed. He added that people were exaggerating the situation and it wasn't as serious as it seemed.
It was a big misunderstanding. Tank was trying to explain what was going on with the hair, and Calvin didn't know exactly what he was, and it was like, a little bit over talking. So he was like, "Yo, Calvin, listen to me." It wasn't no disagreement, you know. It's just that Tank was trying to explain, and with the minute counting down, it's like a rush. So you know, and people taking film, editing, making it sound worse than what it was, but it wasn't that heavy.
Coach Kenny Ellis said he didn't want to dwell on the scoring, acknowledging the draw but still feeling Tank won. He noted that many people felt Roach won, which called for a rematch. He ended by quoting, "Let's get it on," urging for the fighters to settle it.
I don't even want to speak on it. Shoulda, coulda, woulda. I mean, the fact is out there what happened, you know. You can't override the judge, man. I mean, the ref, you know what I mean? They scored the draw for whatever reason, but I still felt like Tank won. A lot of people felt like Roach won. You know, it calls for a rematch. All that back and forth, man, let's get it on. Like our man used to say, Mills Lane, you know? Rest in peace. Let's get it on.
Ahead of the rematch, Greg Hackett said the fighters need to learn from the first fight and bring something different in the rematch. He felt the fight was too close to pick a clear winner, noting that both fighters neutralized each other in different ways. Hackett added that in the rematch, one of them would need to go even further.
You gotta learn from the first fight. You gotta learn from the first fight, and you gotta bring something different, but at the same time, at the same time, you still got to be careful. That goes for both sides. You can't pick a winner. The fight was too good. You can't pick a winner. I see where Lamont neutralized Tank, and I see where Tank neutralized Lamont. Somebody gotta go even further.
Moreover, Devin Haney said it was a good fight overall. He mentioned that he always knew Lamont Roach wasn't going to lay down, as they've known each other since childhood and grew up in the amateurs together. Haney acknowledged that Roach fought seriously and performed better than he had expected.
I mean, I thought it was a good fight overall. Lamont, I always knew Lamont was, he wasn't coming to lay down. I've been knowing Lamont since we was kids. So we came up in amateurs together. So I knew Lamont was serious. He was coming in there to fight, but he did a lot better than I thought he would, and I thought he won the fight personally.
Haney also shared that he personally thought Roach won the fight. He was especially surprised by the no knockdown call, saying it was something he had never seen before. Haney expressed that it was the first time he had witnessed something like that with his own eyes.
Yeah, the no knockdown, that was like unheard of. It was the first time I've ever seen it with my own two eyes, and yeah.
Robert Diaz, Lamont Roach's manager, expressed pride in his fighter, saying Lamont truly believed he could win. While they didn't get the decision, Diaz felt that had won the fight. He emphasized that Roach was able to break the stigma that he would be knocked out in 5 rounds, or that he was too small. Diaz believed that after this performance, the world would finally give Roach the respect he deserves.
Lamont believed he could win, so I'm very proud of him. Look, we didn't get the decision. Of course, I know he won. But to break that stigma that he was going to get knocked out in 5 rounds, that he was going to be too small, that he's the smaller guy, now the world's going to give him the respect. I think he gained a lot of fans tonight.
Diaz further said that he believed Lamont Roach gained a lot of fans from the fight. He pointed out that it was all they could ask for, as the people saw the results. Diaz made it clear that he wouldn't claim they were robbed, noting that the world itself could be the best judge of what happened.
I think he gained a lot of fans tonight, and that's all you can ask for. The people saw the results. I'm not going to say they robbed us. The world saw. They can be the best judges.
Robert Garcia argued that the situation could have easily resulted in a disqualification or the referee stopping the contest. He pointed out that there's no way a fighter should be allowed to take a timeout during the round, like when Gervonta Davis took a knee and then walked to his corner to wipe his face. Garcia stressed that such an action was unheard of and shouldn't be legal in boxing, as it was completely unfair and never seen before in the sport.
Look, it could have easily been a disqualification too, or a referee stops contest, because look, there's no way a fighter could take a timeout and go get his, during the round. There's no way a fighter could say, okay, timeout, because he took a knee like a timeout kind of thing, and walk to his corner to wipe his face. That's unheard of and never seen before. There's no way that's legal in boxing. It shouldn't have.
Angel Garcia said the Gervonta Davis versus Lamont Roach fight could have gone either way, and the draw decision was fair. He added that while a rematch could happen, he wouldn't be interested and preferred to move on.
I think they did right. They could have won either way. They chose a draw and one judge. So I think it's cool. I mean, they want to run it back, they can, but I won't do it. I just keep moving.
Angel Garcia said that while it wasn't technically a knockdown, the ref didn't count it because Davis's mouthpiece was still in his mouth. Garcia wasn't sure if it was the mouthpiece or Davis's eye causing the issue. He pointed out that even though the ref didn't call it a knockdown, judges could still count it as one. He emphasized that judges can make their own decisions regardless of the ref's call.
Well, it wasn't a knockdown, he took a knee.
We should have counted technically.
No, you're right, but the ref didn't do it because he said his mouthpiece was in his mouth. Was it the mouthpiece?
Honestly, I don't know. I can't wait to ask them what it was.
I think it was the mouthpiece. I'm thinking. He was saying his mouthpiece.
I think it was his eye. That's what I saw on the camera, but I didn't hear. I wasn't listening to the fight. I was watching live.
The mouthpiece, but the thing, he took a knee as a count. As basically a legal knockdown.
And if they do?
Yeah, but the ref said no, but the judge could still count it as a knockdown.
Oh.
You're the judge. You can do whatever the fuck you want to do.
Yeah.
Just because the ref said it wasn't a knockdown, you could still, as a judge, could decide what it was to you. You're a judge, you can do what the fuck Nobody tell you what to do.
Brian Kuster said the most disappointing part for Lamont Roach was losing 2 points, which could have changed the fight. He found it surprising that 2 judges had Tank ahead after 6 rounds, while 2 judges gave Roach the 12th round, making it a draw. Kuster felt there were many confusing moments with the scoring.
That's probably, if you're Lamont Roach, that's probably the biggest thing that's disappointing, because that's 2 points right then and there. I thought it was interesting that most of the 2 of the 3 judges had, Gervonta up after 6 rounds, and that 2 of the 3 judges gave Roach the 12th round. He needed that 12 just to make it a draw. That to me was surprising. So there's a lot of head scratchers here tonight when you talk about this.
Ariel Helwani, frustrated with the outcome, believed Lamont Roach was robbed. He argued the knee should have been counted as a knockdown and wiping the face should have led to a disqualification. Helwani also noted that replay wasn't used, despite being available in New York. He concluded that the fight, once overlooked, had turned into a huge potential rematch and one of the biggest upsets in the past 10 to 15 years.
For Lamont Roach, he was robbed. The knee hitting the canvas should be a knockdown. The face getting wiped should be a DQ. They didn't use replay apparently, and we're going to talk to Keith Idec about all this, but there is replay in New York, and a fight that was kind of viewed as an afterthought would now be a gigantic rematch and one of the biggest upsets of the past, 10, 15 years, 16-1 is gigantic.
Dan Raphael, with 45 years of boxing experience, was certain it was a knockdown, arguing that anyone who disagreed didn't understand the sport. He pointed out that despite Tank running to the other side, referee Steve Willis started the count, signaling it as a knockdown. He also noted Tank going to his corner could have led to a point penalty.
I've been watching boxing 45 years. That was a knockdown. Now, anybody that says it was a knockdown, I don't think they know what the heck they're talking about. But Steve Willis thought it was a knockdown because even with Tank running to the other side of the ring to go get into his corner, he sent Lamont Roach to the neutral corner and started the mandatory 8 count. So Steve Willis, in his mind, this is a knockdown. Punch thrown, man on the canvas, I'm sending the guy to the neutral corner and I'm going to be my count. Now, after that, things turn into a complete clusterfuck because you have multiple situations. A, you're not allowed to go to the corner for any kind of advice or issues or, talk to them or get anything going on during the fight. That could be a point penalty.
Raphael expressed frustration over Willis changing his mind about the knockdown. After Tank returned and had his face wiped, Willis stopped the count, implying the knockdown could be called if it appeared as one. Raphael couldn't understand why Willis reversed his decision.
I really have no idea. What I do know is what I heard on the audio. Now, Steve Willis was mic'd up for the broadcast. So you can distinctly, and I've gone back and watched it, anybody can look at the clip. Tank goes and gets his face wiped off, comes back out, and Steve Willis stops counting and says, I'm paraphrasing, I forget exactly what the words were. What are you doing? What are you doing? And you couldn't hear what Tank says because he's not wearing a microphone. And then you hear Willis basically say to him, if you make that look like a knockdown, look like a knockdown. And they patted him on the chest and he called the fight back together. And I'm like, what the is going on? That was a knockdown. Everybody keeps saying, well, it looked like a knockdown. And you know why it looked like a knockdown, Jonathan? Because it was a knockdown.
Mikey Garcia argued that anytime a fighter takes a knee or a glove touches the ground, it should automatically be considered a knockdown. He explained that Tank didn't fall from a punch, but after a jab, he stepped back and went down, which could have been a delayed reaction or the result of the punch affecting his eye. Garcia insisted that this should have been ruled a knockdown, which would have likely changed the outcome in Lamont Roach's favor.
That was a knockdown, bro. It should have been counted a knockdown. Anytime a fighter takes a knee or glove touches the ground, that should be an automatic knockdown. He didn't go down from a punch that hurt him or anything. Not a flash knockdown, but he did take a knee, and he actually took a knee after a jab. If you look at the tape, it was a jab, and he kind of takes a couple steps back and takes a knee. Someone could have said that was a delayed effect. Someone else could have said it was a delayed, punch that might disturb his eye or whatever, and took a knee. Point of it is that should have been a knockdown. That should have overturned the scorecard, and if that was the case, then Roach would have won.
Garcia also pointed out that after Tank got up and had his face wiped, the situation could have gotten worse. The fight could have been stopped, or Tank's corner could have been disqualified for actions like Tank turning his back and walking away. At a minimum, Garcia believed the initial knee should have been counted as a knockdown.
Keep his face off and everything.
They could have called off the fight there. They could have disqualified the corner, or he turns his back and walks away from the fight. that could have been a knockout lost, you know, but at bare minimum, that's a knockdown.
Lamont Roach Sr. voiced his frustration with the decision, believing his son should have been declared the winner. He praised the fight, as expected, and commended Lamont's focus and dedication during training. Roach Sr. felt the victory was stolen, but emphasized that Lamont's performance proved his talent. Despite the result, Roach Sr. saw the positive side, knowing his son had earned his place in the boxing world.
Bittersweet. You said could've, I say we should've had our hand raised. We got a decision, but this boxing we didn't. It was a great fight, like I expected. But I knew my son was game. Training camp, he was so focused and locked in. I knew that we was gonna put on a great performance, and it was kind of like stolen away from him a little bit with the decision. But the world got to see how good he is, so that's the blessing to come out of this. So he really stamped himself in the boxing world more so with this performance. So like I say, that's why it's bittersweet.
Roach Sr. added that while they hope for a rematch, nothing is certain. He mentioned ongoing discussions with the team, with Lamont still processing the fight. He acknowledged the fans' desire for a rematch, but was uncertain about the next steps or plans with Lamont's management. They will have to wait and see what unfolds.
And hopefully we get the rematch, but you know, nothing's guaranteed, so we have to see what happens. So hopefully we get it. We'll talk to the team, you know, he fresh off this fight just like everyone else, you know what I'm saying? He might be talking off some whispers or things like that, but I don't know his plans. I don't know his management team and stuff like that. But I know the fans want the rematch, and you should get the fans what they want.
Jeff Mayweather expressed that it was a good fight on both sides, but believed Lamont Roach deserved the win. He felt Roach worked harder and threw more punches than Gervonta Tank Davis. Jeff noted that Tank stuck to his usual style, waiting for his opponent to make the first move before responding. However, this time, Roach countered every attack from Tank, making the fight more challenging.
I think that it was a good fight on both sides. And I do think that Roach actually won the fight. I thought he outworked Tank. I thought that he threw more punches than Tank. It seemed like Tank was fighting like he always do. It just seemed like he was just waiting for him to figure out whoever was in front of him like he always do, and then go to work. But this time when he went to work, the guy went to work back. So, I mean, he had somebody that was firing back at him the same way.
So what are your thoughts on this? What do you think about Tank's knee? Share your thoughts in the comments section, and make sure to subscribe and like if you enjoyed the video. Also, check out our other videos on the screen right now.